Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of All About Luca. This is going to be a 2 or 3 part series. This first part is going to be about his, background story and stuff like that and his personality. Tomorrow's video will be about his design and all the different designs he's gone through. And then the third video will be an AMA, ask me anything about Luca, and I'll answer all of your questions about him if that's something you're interested in. If you're not, we won't make that video. But yeah, so anyways, continuing on to part 1 of All About Luca is a little bit of his backstory. So Luca is a nightmare demon who was, quote unquote, born into a family of, highly skilled fighters. Warriors isn't the right word, but they're really good in combat. Some of his family members were specialized in assassination. Some were more of guards, more of a defense. But overall, his family was a lot better at offense. Offense? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Overall, they're just really into that violent stuff, I guess. It is not a family that you would ever want to cross. You do not want to get anywhere near this family. They are very intense. And Luca is, he's down to deal with some bad people, some demons, or, whoever he's hired to go against. But it's not really what he wants to do. He's pretty lazy. He's, kind of like a sloth. He's gluttonous as well. He'd rather nap and eat and just do whatever he wants at his own time. But he cannot really do that where he is from. So he bounced. He left to live amongst the humans. And while he is not the first nightmare demon to leave the demon realm, that's what a demon dimension, I don't know what to call it yet. So while he's not the first one to leave, and while he's not the first one from a high-ranking or high-status family to leave, he is one of the first nightmare demons with an abnormality to leave. Abnormality is what I'm going to call it for now, so quote-unquote abnormality. But an abnormality, those goopy things I draw around his neck in every picture? That is an abnormality. It's very rare in nightmare demons to have abnormalities, and they're not all located in the same location. They're not all around the neck. But yeah, so going into that a little bit, nightmare demons are shapeshifters, and their true form, or, the material they are made of, is kind of like a tar. It's tar, like a pitch black tar. And when nightmare demons choose a form, they're really good at keeping that form. Shapeshifting is something they do have to kind of perfect their skill on when they're born. They kind of suck at it. But, with a lot of practice, they become like natural. It's natural to them. So it's really easy for them to get really good at shapeshifting and keeping their form even in like really stressful, high pressure situations. But demons with abnormalities, those cannot be shapeshifted out. So whether you are in a human form or an animal or whatever, a different species of demon, you will always have those abnormalities. And like I said, abnormalities are very rare for nightmare demons to have. Those who do have them are born with it. And it's a little hard to describe what an abnormality is, but it's kind of like they're overflowing with like power or strength or potential, I guess. Kind of think of a glass of water that is all the way full of water, and think of that water as like the material they're made of and like their overall strength. Now think of somebody continuously pouring water into a glass that is already full, and all that water is just like coming out, obviously. That's kind of what it's like when a nightmare demon is born with an abnormality. They're just overflown with themselves. I don't know how to describe it, but we'll get into that in a whole separate video about nightmare demons. So yes, it is very rare for a nightmare demon to be born with this, and it means they have a lot of potential to be great and skilled and powerful and strong and all that stuff. But not all nightmare demons born with abnormalities are going to be skilled. Normally they are, though, just because it's pretty rare. So when a demon is born with them, they're like instantly taken to be really well trained, because they are just like weapons of mass destruction if they wanted to be. Yeah. But, if for whatever reason they didn't get their hands on one of these demons, it doesn't mean they're going to be strong automatically. They do have to be trained for that. And Luca was born into a family of highly trained, violent people. So he's good. He's highly trained. He's good. He's a good he's very strong. So anyways, going back to the story, since Luca is a nightmare demon with abnormalities and he's from a high status family, him leaving was kind of a big deal. It's not like a big deal as in it's the headline of newspapers and stuff like that. It was more of one of those hush hush rumors going around from high status family to high status family, like a more of a, oh my god, did you hear that one guy from that one really big family just bounced, like, oh my god, how could that happen? They have no control over him. Yeah, it just made his family look really bad. And I'm using the term family pretty loosely. I rather use that than bloodline. They're not very close or anything like that. But yeah, it just made them look really bad. They had no control over him. He was just, he just, not a very good guy. So yeah, his family is very upset with him. They kind of disowned him, which he doesn't really know about anyways, because he didn't really go back to the demon dimension. But if he did go back, he would be shunned completely. They would pretend that he doesn't exist. He is such a disappointment. What a traitor. He betrayed them. Yeah, but some of his family members, bloodline, whatever, take a more violent route. Vance, if you guys know him, is another one of my characters who is kind of like a cousin to Luca, and he's very much disappointed in the decisions Luca made and is very upset by them and kind of wants to get rid of Luca because he made them look so bad. So, yeah. But, dealing with his murderous cousin is just something that Luca has to deal with day by day. It's not a big deal to him. It's just kind of like an inconvenience. But he lives his best life on Earth. Luca has lived amongst humans and on Earth for over 600 years, and he doesn't necessarily like to stay in the same place that whole time. He does like to travel, but he does take his time in each town or city or country, continent he's on. He's traveled pretty much the whole world within that time, but he likes to spend a long time there, get to know the people. He likes to be on his own for a majority of the time, but he does like to be surrounded by people when he chooses to do so. Like, think about 7 days out of the week, probably 5 to 6 of those days he likes to be on his own, chilling, doing whatever he wants. And then 1 to 2 of those days he'll be in a bigger, busier city where he can be surrounded by people and noises and cars and buildings and all that stuff. And Luca, while he doesn't mind, when he naps, I guess, or rests or whatever he does, whatever he spends his alone time, he doesn't mind doing that outside. But, he's a shapeshifter. So if he does want to go into a nice, warmer, comfier place, he can very easily just ooze underneath like a door or a gate or through windows. It's very easy for him to get into your house. Don't look behind you. But yeah, so he'll go into like houses of people when they're sleeping or, if he sees a family is going out for vacation, he'll just crash at their place a little bit. He's not like a troublemaker. He's not going to ruin the place or anything. He just needs a couch to sleep on once in a while. Or sometimes he likes to go into malls or stores and just relax there when they're closed. So yeah, he just likes to chill. He's not going to do anything bad, but yeah, that's where he likes to rest. Going more into his personality, Luca is emotionally constipated, to say the least. He likes to portray himself as being like cold and stoic, but he's actually really nice. It doesn't look like he's nice. He has like a resting, meanie face. I don't know. I don't want to use any bad words, but he's really nice. He only lets his guard down towards those he's closest to, but the thing is, it's really, really hard to get close to him. Luca has lived amongst humans for a long time, and in the beginning, he did build some really great, genuine relationships with humans, platonically and romantically, but since he is a nightmare demon, he is going to inevitably outlive them. And after a while, he decided the grief just wasn't worth it anymore. So he does like to stay away from people, emotion-wise, I guess. He does like to still talk to people and build friendships, but they're not friendships that last. It's more like that kind stranger you talk to that one time. That's Luca. He's not really gonna get to know you too well, but he'll get to know you a little bit. Obviously, this changes when Papaya shows up. Papaya just kind of barges into his life and forces Luca to care about him. But Papaya is the first person that Luca starts caring about in a very, very, very long time. He is a special guy. And like I said, Luca does like to eat a lot. Fun fact is that nightmare demons don't actually feed off of the same things that humans feed off of. Nightmare demons don't have to eat food like we do. They feed off of fear. And I'll get into that in another video, but yeah, he doesn't have to eat. He only eats because he likes the taste of food. That's the only reason. How does he get his food? Because, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any money. Luca is a shapeshifter, so he'll like to shapeshift into either a crow or a cat. Those are his two favorite animals to shapeshift into, but he can shapeshift into anything like a squirrel or whatever. And it's very easy for him to like sneak into a store as a crow or a cat and grab something off the shelf really fast and get out of there and find a place to eat. That's how he gets most of his food. He could technically just grab food off of the floor or garbage as a crow or any animal, but that's a little bit beneath him. He doesn't like to do that, and it's really not necessary. So that's kind of his go-to way to get food, is by grabbing something from a store. But that changes when Papaya shows up. Papaya will either buy him stuff or cook for him. He does like to cook for Luca. So yeah, that's just kind of something that Luca will do if he has to, but it's not really a necessity. Since Luca still likes to hang around a lot of people and in bigger cities sometimes, he is pretty up to date with fashion and lingo and stuff like that, the language. But he doesn't have access to certain things. So, like, for example, if you gave him your cell phone, he would look at it and be like, yes, this is a cell phone. You use it to call people. But he wouldn't know how to use it himself. He wouldn't know how to open it. He doesn't know about apps. He doesn't know how to text. He just doesn't know how to work the cell phone. But he knows what it is. The same thing with, like, cars. He knows what cars are used for, but he doesn't know how to drive one. He knows about the internet, but he never went on the internet. He doesn't know how to navigate it. Obviously, Papaya is a life changer, so he will be teaching Luca all that stuff, and he does teach him all that stuff. But yeah, he's up to date, just doesn't know how to work certain things. And circling back again to when I said Luca was surprisingly nice, so it's not like nightmare demons are inherently evil or anything like that. They just could not care less about humans. They just need humans to feed off of their fear and stuff like that. But yeah, Luca actually genuinely likes humans and pretty much all life on Earth. He's not really a hippie sort of character or guy, but he can appreciate life on Earth. And while he doesn't go around like saving people, if it's not inconvenient, he will help people. So like, for example, if he witnessed somebody getting mugged, it's not going to be a big deal for him to go and catch the mugger and then do whatever he does to them and return the stolen items to the owner or anything like that. He's a nightmare demon. He has great strength and agility and speed and all that stuff. Like, you can't outrun him. He's gonna get you. So it's really not an inconvenience at all for him to do certain things like that. So he'll do that, if it's there, but he doesn't go out looking for trouble. He doesn't go out looking to save people. He's just kind of a nice guy. And obviously things are a little different when he genuinely cares about you. He'll show you that he cares about you, but like in a different way. I remember saying this in my old All About Luca video, but if he genuinely cares about you, he's not really gonna say it too much in words, or he's not gonna, say, I love you or I care about you, but it'll be more like if you guys were about to go outside and it was really cold and you were just wearing a t-shirt, he would probably say, hey, stupid, go put on a jacket, it's really cold outside. Something like that. Kind of harsh, but some like subtle things like that. That's how you know he cares about you. Anyways, I think that is going to be the end of part 1 of All About Luca. That was a little bit of his backstory and personality. Think of some questions you want me to answer about Luca. Leave them in the comments down below, and you will get another chance to ask questions about him in tomorrow's video, which will be All About Luca part 2, design-wise, behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm very excited for this series. I'm going to do it for all my characters, so do not worry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please be good owlets, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!